looked at toString, how it can be used to convert a numerical variable into a string variable. We now want to look at dstring. Now, what a dstring does is it converts a numerical string variable into a normal numeric variable. What do we mean by numerical string variable? So we know a string variable can store numbers, right? So this is a string variable which is storing only numbers, but because it's a string variable, you cannot use it in any analysis, right? Even if you summarize with it, it won't return any statistics. Obviously, you can't add, subtract them, those numbers, right? You can't do any analysis with those numbers. So we want to convert that numerical string variable into a normal numeric variable because string can store numbers, but then you can't do any analysis on it unless it is in the format of a numeric variable. Now, here it's important to keep in mind we cannot apply dstring on a string variable with any non-numeric character. So you can only apply dstring if that numerical string variable only has numbers, right? So the syntax for this is we will write dstring, name of a command, then we will write name of the variable you want to transform. So in this case, it's the name of the numerical string variable. Then after the comma, you have an option. You can either generate a new variable. So in that case, you specify the name that you want to give to that new variable, or you can just replace the existing variable. So let's look at this example. Uh, okay, let's just browse this first. Browse. Okay, let's see. So let's look at this variable ID. Why this is not showing? Let's okay. So this is the okay. This here. So this variable ID, we can say it is in the form of a numeric string variable, right? Well, it stores all numbers, right? We can see it stores only numbers, but it is in the form of a string. As you can see, its color is red also. Like just from the color, we can tell it is a string because red are with string, and we know blue are numeric uh, variables with value labels, black are numeric variables without value labels, right? So from the color also, we can just tell it's string, or we can check this, use describe and check that, right? So we know this is a string variable. So it is a string variable which throws numbers, right? So it's a numeric string variable. So you want to convert it into a normal numeric variable. So for that, what we can do is we can dstring ID. So this is the variable you want to transform ID. And then after gen, we can either specify the new variable that you want to create. So if I do ID underscore numeric, look what it's going to do is it has created a new variable. Now look at this variable. This is the exact same variable as this. The difference is this is in a string format, this is in a numeric format, and we can tell this easily from the color, right? The red color denotes string, black denotes numeric without value labels. Right, so with this, we can actually do analysis. Like if I were to just to show this and show this, like if we do summarize and if we do ID, it won't show anything, right? So we would not want to summarize ID, but just to illustrate this, that it won't. But for this, it would, right? Although you would obviously don't need to really summarize ID, right? That's just point. But just to showcase, it won't do numerical analysis on this because this is in the form of string. This is in the form of numeric, right? Or obviously, if we just wanted to, here to we created a new variable, we could have also replaced the existing variable, right? So that depends on what you want to do, right? This has look replace the existing variable, right? So this has converted that ID. Now the color is changed from red to black because it has changed from string to numeric. So now if even if you do summarize ID, it will work, right? Although this won't really tell us anything. Why would you want to summarize ID? But this is just to illustrate that then you can apply, do analysis with it once it's in numeric form. The note creation date is also a string variable. It also has numbers, but it also has non-numeric characters like this dash here, this colon here. So because it has non-numeric characters, such as this dash and colon, so dstring won't work on that. So if I try to use dstring, right? So if we try to use dstring on this, so you will see over here what Stata says it contains non-numeric characters, so you can't use this. Even if we try to generate, use the gen instead of replace, it won't work, right? Because dstring can only use to convert a numeric string variable into normal numeric variable, right? We cannot apply dstring if that string variable has any non-numeric character, so it cannot have letters, or it can't have dashes and colons uh, and any of that or commas or any of that sort of stuff. It should only purely have numbers. Then you can convert it into a normal numeric variable on which you can do analysis.